Hey, good people, what's happening? David Talp here with nextlevelguitar.com with another beginner lesson on expanding your chord vocabulary and learning some new chords. And today we're going to learn some minor seventh chords. They're very, very popular and handy chords, and definitely want to add them to your chord vocabulary. It's kind of all based off of that major or minor chord, where we're just taking a major chord, which is a root third and fifth, or a minor chord, which is a root flat third and fifth, and then we're adding another note to that. If we add the flat seventh to the major chord, it becomes a seventh chord, a dominant seventh chord. If we add a flat seventh to a minor chord, it becomes a minor seventh chord. And if we add a seventh or a major seventh to a major chord, it becomes a major seventh chord. Now, if you don't understand that theory, that's okay. I don't want to bog you down with a lot of theory right now. But basically, we're just taking chords that you know already and just adding another interval to them or another note to give them a little different sound. And that's so important as a guitar player to keep expanding the amount of chords you know. And here's just a few minor seventh chords to get you started. Let's take an E minor seventh. You know E minor, so just add your third finger to the third fret on the B string and your pinky right below that, third fret on the high E string. It's kind of like the fingering for a G chord or C add 9 with your third and fourth finger, and then just play the E minor with that. So you have your first finger and your second finger down. You have an E minor 7th. Really nice chord. You can also play an E minor 7 by lifting off the pinky that's still an E minor 7th. You're playing the E note twice instead of the G note twice, or I like adding the pinky, a little different timbre. E minor 7th. An A minor 7th is really easy. You probably know a stock A minor chord. Then to make that an A minor 7th, we got to add a G note, so just lift off your third finger. Play that open G, right? And that'll add that flat 7th. There's A minor, lift off that third finger, and that's an easy one. There's your A minor 7th. Piece of cake. And a nice D minor 7th chord would be bar with your first finger at the first fret, the high E, and the B strings. And then with your second finger, grab the second fret, the A note, on the G string. And play that with the open D string. Do not play the low E, or do not play the A strings. So you're doing the bar on the high two strings, hook over so you don't hit it with the second finger, and that's a nice, with the open D, you have that nice minor 7th, D minor 7. These are just a couple minor 7th chords to get you going in the open position. All right, so now that you learned a couple of minor 7th chords, let's apply them. So important, whatever you learn on guitar, you need to apply it in some way, and that will help you remember it. And minor 7th chords are great because a lot of times when you're playing, when you go to a minor chord, a lot of times you could substitute that minor 7th if you like, and it gives you a little different sound. Let me give you an example of that. Let's take a progression first where we won't use the minor 7ths, and then we'll add them and you'll hear the difference. So let's take key of C major. Let's take an E minor chord, then go to A minor, then go to D minor, to a G, to a C. All right, it'll sound like this. We'll just use an easy strum, like down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. But you could use any strum that you're comfortable with at this level that you're currently at. Nice and slow. Remember, can't say it enough. You know, at first, when you're first learning, the tendency with students is to strum really, really fast and get faster as they go along. Really want to slow down. Remember, the faster you're strumming, man, the faster you're going to have to make those changes. So really pull back and really slow it down. I mean, down, down, up, down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up. Real 8th note kind of strum. This is slow enough to get you going, right? So let's take 2 measures of chord, and I'll flash that progression on the screen. And just play those chords, and then after this we'll add the minor 7ths, and you'll hear the difference. So let's try it. Start on the E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and you could kind of keep repeating that. But while it's fresh in your ear, Now we're going to do the same exact progression, except this time we're going to make that E minor an E minor 7th. So no longer E minor. See, we're going to add that extra note. And then when it goes to the next chord, the A minor, play the A minor 7th. And then when it goes to the D minor, we're going to play the D minor 7th. Listen to the difference. Same strum, same everything else. Same other chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I like that. You hear the difference? A little bit more sophisticated sounding as we're substituting, or what you might hear the word comping. Comping is when you comp chords, you kind of substitute one chord for another. We're adding those minor 7th chords, and they're very, very nice chords. I like them a lot. Let's just add a couple other things to that progression. Why not? We're on a roll. Let's keep going, right? Instead of the G chord, let's comp and let's make that a G7th. If you're not familiar with the G7th chord, go to our chord library at our website, nextlevelguitar.com. On the main taskbar, you'll see chord library. Click on that. It's a drop-down box. Go down to open position 7th chords and look at G7. That's a free service we have, that chord library. Little mini vignette chord videos, like a minute each, explaining the chords. So let's add that G7 for a little twangy and bluesy sound. And instead of the C major chord, let's make that a C major 7th. And all you do to make a C major 7th is remove that first finger from your C chord. Just take it right off. Not off your hand, off the fretboard. So you have C, kind of happy sounding, and look, we can go to a major 7th. Get that jazzy, sweet sound, right? So the progression now becomes E minor 7th, A minor 7th, D minor 7th. Then we're going to go to that G7th, and end on the C major 7th. Real sophisticated. This isn't complex at all. We're really just substituting the newer chords for that stock progression we started with. And you can do it, you know, just practice those changes if you're stumbling on any one, back and forth, back, even if you're sitting there watching TV, right? Like you might have a hard time going from that D minor 7th to that G7. So just real slow. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And eventually you'll get it. You know, so much of this is just muscle memory. So let's try the progression. Maybe at first, a good way to try it is just use a quarter note strum. Just down, 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 down. Change. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Change. 2, 2, 3, 4. All quarter notes. Let's do that first, and then we'll do it with a strum pattern just to get you going. You know, first learn, run, then learn, fly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep repeating that over and over and over again. And when you get good at that, then let's try it with that 8th note strum. So keep working that until you get it, you know, and you will get it. You can do it. Let's try another progression with some minor 7ths. Let's do, this time, let's take a G major chord to an E minor 7. It's an easy change. Just got to kind of leave your 3rd and 4th fingers down. Just move your 1st and 2nd. To an A minor 7, to a D7. Again, if you're not sure of any of these chords, go to our chord library. Same strum. Down, down, up, down, up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play with those changes, you know. Let's do that same exact change, but this time instead of the G chord, let's make it a G major 7th chord. Really kind of, pushing you to try new things here. Check out how that will sound. Sweet and jazzy. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube videos and check out our website at nextlevelguitar.com. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. We've got like up to 500 video lessons and written lessons and jam tracks, and it's growing. We make new lessons all the time and add them, as well as we have a guitar forum. So check that site out and keep on rocking. Put that guitar in your hands every day. Develop your ear. Keep practicing the right things, and I will see you in the next lesson. Rock on.